if it is recorded that HIV and AIDS is rampant along the lake region, it is true, and it's brought by sex for fish practices. And now I think I've unpacked how sex for fish relates or leads to high rate of HIV and AIDS. You can also link these with the teenage pregnancies, which is also very high.
Stick Your Neck Out, the weekly podcast of the Giraffe Heroes Foundation.
Lake Victoria is the economic, social and ecological basis for 40 million people in East Africa. Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda and Burundi depend on Lake Victoria, the most important freshwater reservoir in the region. Its basin is internationally recognized for the high levels of freshwater species, diversity and endemism. The shores of Lake Victoria in western Kenya bustle with wooden fishing boats competing for space, full of the morning catch of catfish or tilapia. The fishermen bargain with those waiting in line to buy, the majority of them women. They hope to make a small profit at the local market. But in this part of Kenya, the transaction between fishermen and female market sellers is rarely a financial one. Welcome to Stick Your Neck Out, the podcast to restore your faith in humanity. I am Jean-Pierre Aguirre Durañona, and my guest today is Cavin Odera, 2018 Cantali graduate. Cavin has a bit of a scratchy voice due to the fact that what he witnessed made him speechless for the first 7 years of his life. Welcome, Cavin.
Thank you, Emperor.
Dear listeners, Cavin comes from Homa Bay County, a town on the Kenyan shores around Lake Victoria. In this area, women are mercilessly exploited. Along Lake Victoria, the fish business is divided by gender. Men own boats and go fishing. Women buy fish from them to sell at the market. Cavin, there is a common practice known in Kenya as Jaboya. What is this about and what does it have to do with your voice loss?
Once again, thank you, Yampa, for this opportunity.
Of course, you're very welcome.
Yeah, it's indeed true that Lake Victoria cuts across Eastern African region. And it's also true that it is the main source of fish of income in Kenya, mostly where I'm coming from. And I want to take you back a little bit to my short story as to why my scratchy voice is still here till to date. When I was born, I was still very young, and I was born out of wedlock. And I used to live with my grandmother. Why? Because my mother got married to my father, who did not accept me as his own.
Oh, that's sad.
During this period, I couldn't speak. I was numb. So everything that I could tell, I would use my legs, my hands, and showing people and all there. And people used to laugh at me. And so when I was, I could speak now. My mom took me back, and then they accepted me. So I lived there, and that is when I realized the business that my mom was doing. I came to realize that they were very poor. They didn't have money. Now, when you talk about Jaboya or talk about sex for fish, it is generally a gender-based violence because these women are not doing this willingly. So my mother became a victim. She had sex with several fishermen just to make her survive because my dad was a perennial drunkard, and he wasn't able to take care of the kids or the family. And so this is how my mother contracted HIV in 2004. They all died. By then, I was 12 years old. And so after their death, life became unbearable for me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. And because I told you, I said earlier that I was born out of wedlock. And so my grandmother, the community, the clan, the village elder, the relatives, they couldn't accept me. So then I left home and I went to the streets of Kisii. And that's how I started surviving in streets and eating from the dust cans, sleeping on the streets in cold, and doing manner of things. The only thing that I didn't do was I didn't engage myself into immorality behaviors. Later on, in 2006, I got this woman who took me, cleaned me up, took me to school, clothed me, and I became somebody. 10 years down the line, after the death of my parents, my sister, who was also left to take care of us, also went through the same trench where what my mother did.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she also got fish through exchange of sex and all that with the fishermen, and she died, and so we were left just like that. So after I grew up, these things started haunting me, that a lot of women, many women and girls, are going through the same problem that my mother and my sister went through. Then what can be done so that they can also get live a life that is legit and comfortable, where they cannot offer sex to fishermen and contracting HIV and AIDS and all that. And I wrote something about my life. That is, now I'm bringing you to a journey how my social life began, and how I started bringing a social change to our community to assist women and girls. And so after writing a story to Kanthari, and I got shortlisted. I tried once and I failed because I was not competent, and I was not consistent in whatever thing that I was saying. Yes, I was having the problem in me, but how to put it together, to package it, did not work out for me in the first attempt. And now the second attempt, I qualified and I got a scholarship to Kanthari. That was in 2018, April. And 2018, December, I graduated because I already got what I wanted. I already became a Kanthari so that I could come back and spike and catalyze and bring the change that I wanted to see in my community.
This is a really nice thing. I mean, first of all, I'm really sorry to know what that you lost both your mother and sister to these circumstances, but at least you find a way to go through and you know, to try to bring this social change in the community. I wanted to ask you something. But first of all, I'm going to give the listeners a little bit of background. The fishing industry is the primary source of employment for men and women in the surrounding communities. But fishing has been a male-only profession. Men do the fishing and women sell the catch. We had that already. In the 70s, a new practice arose. Fishermen shamelessly began to exploit women's poverty, and instead of money, they demanded sex to pay for fish. You fight for the dignity of the women in your region through your Fisherwoman Academy. How are you doing that?
Yes, I am a man, and I equally believe that I understand how men think. And so after African Theory, I decided to start like this Fisherwomen Academy called Wanawake Wavuvi Kenya, or in English, Fisher Women.
Okay.
The name was suggested because we wanted to change the narrative, a perception in people and more so in men, that women cannot do some jobs like fishing, fish farming, and boat building and all that. So, being that I grew here, and I have enough experience after seeing what my mom went through, what my sister went through, and what other women and girls are going through even to date. Then I decided, like, if these women who are offering sex for fish are trained, and we build their capacity, we build their confidence, and we build their teamwork, I think they can do something. And this was just but a dream. And when I came back from Kanthari, I started doing exactly this. Because I'm a man, I put women forward to be the leaders, and for me, I'm just working there to champion men so that they can come along and work closely with women.
Hood up, men. Hood up.
This organization is not that old. It's just 2.5 years. And Today, I want to tell you that we have trained around 365 women in fish farming, boat building, and some others. And also we've trained young girls, about 65, in other areas. So it is not only fish training them on fish farming, but we are also training them on other areas so that we can decongest people who are handling fish and that is buying and selling of fish. And only if we do that, then we are going to reduce HIV rates, new cases rates along Lake Victoria, and also we are going to reduce poverty, which is really interfering with people's living standards.
Yeah, speaking of which, HIV incident is highest in the beach communities along Lake Victoria. Studies show that Jaboya, or sex for fish, is a major driver of HIV/AIDS in your region. What is the relation between the sex for fish economy and the HIV?
Yeah, the question is well put, and it is true. There's a big relationship between Jaboya, or sex for fish, and HIV and AIDS. I will unpack it and put it this way. Uh, you know, if you draw a tree and we have the problem that is the roots, and we have the trunk and we have the branches, and now the branches act as the cause of the problem, and now the problem now is the roots. So now the problem here is poverty. Uh, Poverty comes in because a number of women did not go to school. Why? Because we are living in a community where educating a woman, it's like a taboo. Why? Because when you that was way back when, before even I was born. My mom didn't go to school because of this thing that I'm saying today. When you educate a woman or a girl, the community will say that it's like you are educating a mongoose. So women or girls used to be referred to as a mongoose. And because a mongoose, you cannot keep a mongoose as a domestic animal. Because
Okay,
when you
I
keep it
understand.
today, yeah, you're going to feed it, and, and later on, it's going to go outside there to the bush to look for other wild animals, or I don't know, other food to eat, to feed on. And so they only say that instead of educating a girl, then I can just educate my boy, because my boy will always be here. He will not get married. He will not go away. He will stay here by me. And so this very act, it has really given a very negative result in our today's life, where we find like we have many women, and you will believe and you will agree with me that women are the backbone of the economy in every community, in every country.
Of
If it's
course.
not, yeah. And so, if you have a number of women who are not educated, and these are the women who are struggling to see like their kids are getting food, their kids are going to the hospital, and their kids are getting their basic need that is needed, and that woman is not educated because of some cultural or tradition beliefs, then we are killing the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely.
yeah, so poverty, if poverty is number one here, and we have this woman here wants to go get food, just the same as my mother did, and she does have money. The only weapon that she will use is sex. And this man, who is a fisherman, will lure this woman to get sex, and so that this woman can get fish. And mark you, sometimes you can offer both. You can offer sex, and also you can offer money for the same fish. And so a majority of sex that are done are unprotected. And remember, it is not done by only one partner. These women are having multiple partners, and these fishermen are also having multiple partners. This is how HIV and AIDS spreads.
Yes, of course. You have like a huge chain of bad things happening.
Yeah. And so if it is recorded that HIV and AIDS is rampant along the lake region, it is true, and it's brought by sex for fish practices. And now I think I've unpacked how sex for fish relates or leads to high rate of HIV and AIDS. You can also link these with the teenage pregnancies. which is also very high.
Well, luckily you have your Fisherwomen Academy. And with your academy, you want to give the women, and not only women, also teenagers and mothers, direct access to fish. How can I picture a training at Wawa?
Giving women a direct access to fish. And number one, like I said, we are just 2 or 3 years old. We started this academy, and we are doing it. We go down there and talk to women who are really willing. You can do assessment by just seeing how women struggles. And then you talk to them through the help of BMU, that is Beach Management Unit. And then you get these women and you tell them, why can't we do something? Do you want to get your own fish? Do you want to know how to ride the boat? Do you want to know how to cast the net and also go there and get the fish? And because of the problem that they are going through, they are readily willing to do that. So after getting them, then our work is just to write proposals. And if one goes through, then we pitch well, and then we pick these women who are really willing to do this, and we take them through the program. And our curriculum, we give it a name: Hope, Step, and Jump. So in Hope stage, women comes and they interact with others. They build their confidence, the teamwork. In Step, that is where we go to the actual training of, if it's going to do the fishing, going into the lake with the boat, then this is where you teach them how to row the boat, how to cast the nets, how to do everything that is necessary for you to get the fish inside the lake. And above all, they must be taught how to swim just in case there is any accident in the lake. And so when that is Step stage is done, then they now jump. So jumping is like they're jumping out of poverty, they're jumping out of sex for fish, they're jumping out of HIV and AIDS, and now they are readily confident, and they are ready to do their marketing, get their fish, do their marketing, and they come very spicy outside there. And there's this project, and we trained 15 women in fish farming, where they can now access fish through rearing of fish. That is, it goes like for 7 months, then you have your ready big fish for you to go and sell. We are still also writing proposals on fish cage farming. We call it Floating Treasure Initiative.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know whether you've come across floating fish cage farming.
No, I didn't. So you can explain a little bit about it.
Yeah. So floating fish cage farming, this is where you go and nest a fish home inside the lake. You nest it. It's a bit interesting because you are going to build a home for the fish inside the lake.
Okay.
And your work is to ensure that those fish do not go outside or mixes with other fish outside there. Or you make sure that there is no any entrance or penetration of the other fish inside the lake coming inside the nest. And you can only do this by using the net that is not cannot be penetrated so easily by other fish. And then you feed them for a period of between 7 to 8 months. Then you have your fish. This is done because of when you rear fish inside the lake, which number one, you are not going to offer much because there is readily oxygen for fish inside the lake, because that is where fish lives. And so the only thing that you are doing is just restricting their movements and also providing them with food. And so this one will make them grow even more faster than compared to other fish. And so then the diseases are there, but not so very much as compared to in some other areas, because we are dealing with soft water.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how you get your fish, far from doing some other things like sex for fish and the rest.
It's a better solution than fish for sex. Cavin, you focus on intensive training on inner motivation as well as on value creation through work. Let's talk a bit about that.
We focus very much on intensive training, and I want to tell you that when we are doing our trainings, you will start by training a woman on how to get fish, and it will take time. For fish to mature takes a bit. It takes long, like about 7 to 8 months. Now, how is this woman going to behave or to survive for this period when the fish is not mature?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, we bring in something called stable banking. I don't know whether you've come across that, table banking.
Yes, I did.
Just to explain for our listeners who maybe are not yet there, table banking is a mode of banking. It's like a community bank where women comes and they loan and they do their businesses, then they bring back the money with some small interest, like let's say, for example, 10% for these women to boost and to keep on like adding up for their own benefit.
Sounds good.
Yeah, when we are doing our trainings, in our budget, we have to add this thing called table banking so that before the fish matures, then that is done. They can do their small businesses as they are waiting for fish to mature. There's a lot of fish that no one can sell and no one can buy all of them. Then can we have like something to do with value addition? I'm just asking you, Yampe, if you've ever tried, have you ever tried a samosa? Do you know samosa?
Yes, I know samosa, but I've never. I tried them. I tried them.
Have you ever tried a samosa made of fish?
No, only made of vegetables and
beef.
Yeah. But I think I can imagine if it's made of fish, it can be quite tasty,
right? So this is one area that we also want to focus on. Even though we've not tried to do it, it's a value addition for the fish, so that we create like more jobs for very many women, but not just to congest many women in just same job and it's only just fishing or fish farming. No, we also have to be creative and look for any other avenue, so long as it's something to do with fish.
Okay. There's also a gender violence recovery center at your organization. Am I right?
I would want to say that at the moment we don't have any gender violence recovery center, but we only have like the academy where we are training the women. Okay, I want to put it this way, because if you talk about gender violence recovery center, it means like we have like a home for women where when they face like some problem with the husbands or the people outside there, then they will run and stay here for quite some time as we continue to follow the issue and follow the issue and even go to court and do all that. We still don't have that space. The only space we have is only for training, but we are partnering with some other people who they are working in Nairobi, still very far, and they don't even offer homes for these women. So if we can have like a gender recovery center where it's just like a home, that is our idea, rough idea. That is the vision of Wawa. It's good that we are talking with someone who is the vision bearer.
Yeah.
So our vision is this. I don't know whether you can buy the idea.
Yes, of course, I can. I mean, it sounds really like a really great impact you are creating over there, even though you don't have the physical gender violence recovery center, but everything else you have is like really, I mean, it's amazing. So if I understand correctly, your key project areas are women empowerment, household, economic strengthening, child protection, health and nutrition. What makes Wawa, the first fisherwoman academy, different from other initiatives working in the prevention of this practice?
Oh, Yampa, there is no any other organization doing what Wawa is doing currently. There isn't. There's no any organization that is training women on how to get fish and how to add value on that fish and how to do table banking before fish is mature.
Yeah, because I've doing my research, actually, I've learned from this initiative in Nyamware Beach also in Kenya.
Yeah.
I read an article about a woman who was trying to do some kind of the same work, but not the same, of course.
Yeah.
And I actually wanted to ask you if you are cooperating with them.
Yeah, the Nyamware, I know where Nyamware is. Actually, that is where I was raised. Where you heard me talking about my grandmother taking care of me. It is next to Nyamware there. Yes. And so that is now in Kisumu County, and we are in Homa Bay County, and we also have Migori County, and we also have Siaya County. Those are 4 counties bordering Lake Victoria.
Okay.
So in Homa Bay County, there is no any other organization doing what we are doing today. But once in a while, we go outside there, like in Kisumu County, we have this organization which they're purely empowering women on table banking. So we call them, oh, what can we do? Can we teach our women how to do like table banking and all that? So when we want to train women, we call them because they are very specialized in doing that. They have women who have been trained. And for fish farming, we only have like some organization still in Kisumu who they only train women. Okay, they gave women boats, and then they told women like, these are your boats. Now you can see what to do with them. And you know what these women did? They just took the boats and they employed men to take care of the boats.
No. Oh no. Oh my God.
So which means like the problem was not solved.
No, of course not.
It was never solved. So it's like I'm asking me for fish and you're giving me fish. Huh? You should teach me how to get that fish by myself, huh? So that I don't go on and asking for that fish over and over again. But the issue you are talking about, we are still exploring to see like how many people can we partner with. But so far we've partnered with many organizations like AMREF now, but that is now for. Did you hear me talk about teenage pregnancies?
Yes. You said it before. Yeah. You mentioned it before.
Yeah, that is also it is also a cause of it comes as a result of sex for fish. Huh? So where you find like women like I'm a mother and I feel like I'm tired or I'm sick today, and I have my daughter who is a grown up and I can send her to go to the lake and get fish, and just like a routine. Before you get fish, and this girl, she's pretty. Sorry, I talk things because I need the community to hear me out. So I will always talk.
Yes, of course. Don't worry.
I will always talk like sexual and reproductive health issues in depth. That maybe I may not say here on radio because I don't know.
Okay.
This daughter will go and have sex with the fisherman, and she's still going to school, and the sex is unprotected, and this girl gets pregnant, and they approached us, and we are going to roll a project called Power to Youth, or PTY.
Okay.
Adolescent girls and young women, on how they can this teenage pregnancy can end and any other cultural practices. So we are still exploring, and today we have a group of young women who used to sell fish, and they said like they approached me and they said that, Cavin, we don't want to do fishing anymore. Can you get us something else to do? Then I asked them, what do you want to do?
That's great. Because that's exactly what I wanted to ask next. Because you were talking about women who are doing fishing and people. I mean, everything you do has to do with fishing and so on. But what about these women or those women who cannot fish themselves because of the lockdown in times of Corona, or just simply because they don't like fishing? What are you doing to help also these women?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like in our website you've seen like soap making. There are some women who are making like the handwork and all that in our website. So we started this project last year. It's called DIY or Do It Yourself. We sat down and thought about something like, why are people using internet in a bad way? Why can't we engage them and use it in a positive way? Must people watch bad things? Why must people abuse themselves on social media and all that? And so we forced women all of which some of them are old and some of them they don't even understand what internet is all about. And because in our office we have one desktop and that can be connected with an internet. So these women came to us and asked us, Cavin, I think we are tired with fish business. And then I asked them, what do you want to do? Then they told me anything that you can do that will give us money. And I gave them like 1 week to go and decide on what they want to do. And then they came back to me after 1 week. That shows like how dedicated they were. So they came back after 1 week and they told us that we want to do something like fashion design. And I don't know, I was born in as much as I could speak in my first 7 years. I think God gave me brains to think and do things. I just realized last year that I can be a good carpenter. and today, not today, this month, I'm just realizing that I can also be a good tailor.
Yeah, you see, you're discovering yourself. That's beautiful.
And so we started training them on 12th. That was on Monday in fashion and design. So I don't know whether you know Ankara. Do you know Ankara?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so Ankara is a traditional African attire.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are fusing Ankara when you want to make curtains, the window curtains.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also fuse Ankara to make the beddings, the bed sheet and all that.
Okay.
And the pillowcases and throw pillows and all that. It looks sexy and lovely when it's all done. So we started training them. We started training them on that, like on Monday, and the training will take like about 2 months, and they're done. So because I am not so professional, we have to bring in someone who can teach them at a fee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that funding was given to us by there's a friend of mine. When I was pitching my problem in Bangalore in India. He donated about $1,000. So he did this in 2019. He did this in 2020, and he also did this in 2021. €1,000. He's called Thorsten Seller. And we also have other projects like going into internet and seeing what you can do, recycling the car tires into tables, coffee tables.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, so we're recycling them into coffee tables, and people are buying and all stuff. So we are doing one of things. Oh, there's one thing that I'm forgetting. How could I forget? We also have women because you know water hyacinth.
No, I'm not sure.
Water hyacinth. It's like a weed that grows into the lake. It grows in the lake, and it's really suffocating the aquatic life. It's suffocating the fish. Yeah, and so it's a menace. So we decided, like, what we thought, because many people came up with the idea, and in Oma Bay County, there is no one who is taking the initiative seriously. So we decided to bring women on board, and so we are recycling water hyacinth. We take them and we are making furnitures out of it. If you know papyrus reeds,
that's quite innovative.
You know papyrus reed?
Yeah.
Papyrus reeds. Yeah. So, have you ever seen any furniture made of papyrus reeds?
No, I don't think I have.
I'll show you some on WhatsApp, so that you can have a clue.
Please do that.
I will. So that is the journey. That is what Wawa has been doing. The only thing that we are lacking, we need a space. All those things that I've for you to have academy, you must have a space where I started by telling you like how we want Wawa to look like. So this is Wawa. Wawa is built the shore of the lake. We don't want fancy structures. We don't want those.
It wouldn't fit to the maybe wouldn't fit to the whole to the whole view. So
to the whole view. Yeah, we don't want fancy things. So we have Wawa built along the shores of the lake, and we have some floating arts, floating arts on top of
Oh, it
the
sounds so nice.
on,
It
on top
sounds
of
so nice.
yeah.
I will gladly take an airplane right now and go there to have a look at it.
Yeah, that is what we want to. That is our vision. What we want to have. We don't have it right currently.
It's a really nice vision, and like I said before, it's a lot to take. It's a lot what you are doing. So, how are the barriers to the fishermen's communities? I imagine not everyone is happy about your engagement, isn't it?
Yeah, when I started, not everyone was happy, but there again, it depends on the approach. Because number one, I start by talking to men, because like every community, they believe that men are the gatekeepers of every community. So when you want to get into any community, fisher community, you must get through them first. So I honored that, and that is what we are doing. So we get through the community through the BMU. You had me mentioning BMU, that is Beach Management Unit. So you go to you talk to them, you sit them down, you have a meeting, a serious meeting. If you have like some allowance of 500 shillings or 1,000, you give them. They will really appreciate. They will honor the project. So in some areas you go and you sit them down and they say like, can we also join, because what you are doing is good. But then again, even if you can't join, but we really appreciate, because you are helping our women, because these women are the backbone of the economy of this community. So the moment they respect that and they value it and they own the project, then you don't have any problem. You will go all the way.
Yeah, but how do you manage to include the fishermen in also changing their mindsets without questioning their manhood?
Yeah, we involve them in a number of things. Number one that stands out for me is involving them in training the same women we are talking about here. Let's say, for example, this woman wants to be a fisher woman, and me, Cavin, I don't know how to go get fish. Perhaps maybe I don't know how to row the boat, how to cast the net. But there is a man down there who usually does this, and he knows how to go get fish, how to row the boat, and we can use that person, that fisherman, to come and train these women. That is that number one, you're going to solve a problem where they will say like, oh, women, we don't want you here. No. When you get them to train, they will own the project. Number two, because women sometimes they cannot go there alone, because they're still not sure whether they're doing the right thing, whether they are safe inside there. So you take the same fishermen to accompany them. Women will do their things, and men also doing their things like the security and all that. And so women sees like what men are doing, and so they work together as a people. They work together to achieve the common goal. That is number two. And when you do number one and number two, then you will get a direct access to a community where men dominate, and they think like they own the project, they own everything there.
Okay. So that sounds like a good plan. Have you have Wawa been threatened, daring to interfere in this vicious cycle?
No. We haven't been threatened. We have not been threatened.
That's great.
Actually, everyone loves the project, and they always want me to go give them we have beaches, like we have about 365 beaches in Homa Bay alone. Huh? And so when you go to this beach, because you can't go to every beach, when you go to this beach, the beach management unit wants you to they want you to stay there and continue working with women. And so because they know each other, and so you are being called to go to another beach, and you also have like issues of resources. You can't do everything at the same time.
Yes, of course.
And so people, they really want us to go work with them, but then again, we don't have enough resources, enough personnel. We don't have enough time, of which it is not enough to everyone. We don't have enough money to go do that, because for us to go train, we have refreshment. We need like training facilities and all that.
So, Cavin, since I first get in touch with you and I started doing my research, I wanted to ask you, why do you of all speak up for those who can't speak yet?
But I think you've even answered it already. you said, the question was well asked, but thank God you've answered it, because you're asking why am I speaking up for those who can't speak. Uh, Definitely because I first felt it when I couldn't speak and I really wanted to speak. I don't know whether it's only me. Sometimes you sleep and you dream. I don't know whether it's a nightmare or what. I don't know. You sleep and you feel like someone is strangling you and you want to scream, but there's nothing coming out. Just to wake up and find like you are just dreaming.
Yeah.
So I was in that position. I really wanted to speak. I really wanted to express my feelings. I really wanted to express what I was going through. Imagine a scenario where you really want to pee, but you can't tell anyone. You really want to poop. You can't tell anyone. How can surviving in this way? It's not a good one. It's not a good one. You have a point. You really want to show someone that this is what I mean. This is what I want to say. This is what I want you to do. But you'll only do it through pointing, or I don't know, even beating. I don't know. So many people outside here, they really want to do something, but always there's someone or something in the community that is suppressing them. So when you take my scenario, my issue of being numb and that I could speak, we have many women outside there because of patriarchy. In their patriarchal nature, the society which is very patriarchal, and the men and all that, they want to speak up. They want to do things. They want to row the boat. They want to challenge all the cultural and the societal norms that are affecting their well-being, but they couldn't do that. Something must be done. I have to use my problem. Like I always tell people, what does not kill you, it makes you only stronger. And I want to believe that. Yeah, I want to believe that.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Life gave me a lemon. Going to the street, having your parents both dead, like when you are still young, and I faced a lot of things. I didn't even know that one day I will even board a flight and go to India. I didn't know. So everything that is happening in my life is like a miracle. And maybe, I know perhaps you will invite me to come and meet with you one-on-one and tell you all these things that I'm telling you. That is a plus. That is a plus. So life gave me a lemon and I made a lemonade out of it. And so how can I use that lemonade not to brag and have like fancy cars and a fancy house and fancy clothing and all that, and help some women to achieve their dreams because they can't speak where they are today, maybe because they are poor, maybe because they don't have people who can fight for them. And Cavin is always very ready to fight for them, both economically, politically, socially, and all that. All round, I will always be there for them.
That's really nice, and I guess that also prevents you from being criticized. That you, as a man, want to empower the women in your community.
When someone sees you for the first time, they will have their own judgment. I told you, I have like a way of doing things. You get to women on Saturday. On Saturday, I was having like these women. They are very old and go to the lake and get fish, but they want me to train them on how they can mold the pot.
Okay.
Some of them want me to train them on how they can knit the weaving and all that. And so just talking to them, getting to know their problem. They were crying when I was leaving them because my 3 hours was over and I couldn't speak to them anymore. And some of them were crying that we still want to have you. Just talk to us. So people outside there, they will see you as, like you are working with women, you are talking with women. They don't even know that these women can even allow you to have them as long as you want, so long as that you are telling them anything that will get them out of the poverty. So what I always do, I don't listen to such some of them you can listen to them. You listen to all of them, but you choose on what you want to do because you have the vision.
That's the key.
You want, you know what you want in life, and you know where you want to go with these women. And some husbands, sometimes they come and they talk, but then when they come to check on what their women are doing, then they come and embrace me. And some of them even buy me tea. No, when you buy me tea, when you're a man, I will drink. Because at least you are you are embracing and supporting what I used to do that you are against.
So, Cavin, what is your vision for the fisher woman?
I have several visions for women in Kenya, in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Gambia. But above all, the one that stands out, I would want to see no woman offering sex to fishermen just to get fish. I want to see a community where women and men are working closely together happily to build the nation, that they work together to help in achieving the SDGs. You get that? What is that?
SDGs?
The sustainable development goals. Huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, together. Which number one is, I think, it's elevate poverty elevation and all that. We cannot elevate poverty when we are working in silos.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
When we are criticizing what women are doing, but we can elevate poverty when we all come together and we work as a team so that we can achieve one objective and one goal as a family.
Thanks, Cavin. Thank you again for your time, and thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you very much, Champe.
When Cavin Odera's parents and older sister died of HIV/AIDS, he was mocked and discriminated against. This experience eventually triggered his willingness to empower girls and young women. So he created Wawa to equip them with skills to earn sustainable livelihoods without falling victim of sex for fish, a common practice around the Lake Victoria. Wawa trains these women in everything about fishing, from tying nets, building boats, fishing on Lake Victoria, to fish farming in self-built ponds. More details about Wawa can be found at wawakenya.org. And there we are at the end of the podcast to restore your faith in humanity. You'll find the stories of the Cantari alumni and the Giraffe Heroes, the stories of people sticking their necks out every Tuesday in Spotify, iTunes, our homepage, and every other place where you get your podcast. And if you subscribe, you don't have to look out for us. We'll be coming to you. Dear listeners, if there is a friend, a family member, an organization, or someone you know who is doing a great work in the community, someone sticking the neck out, just nominate them as a Giraffe Hero or tell us about them. Come and visit us at giraffe-heroes.eu. My name is Jean-Pierre Aguiar-Durañona, and I hope you join us also on our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. But more importantly, I hope you join us again next week.
Stick Your Neck Out, the weekly podcast of the Giraffe Heroes Foundation.